out of breath, unable to speed up even more or catch up. And overcoming the mismatch between those seeking unemployment on the one hand and the requirements, the needs in terms of the economy, society, businesses, that is one element. But also making sure that young and the old find ways of contributing and making a living in a forever and fast-changing world. Those two things are big, multifaceted challenges on many levels at once. And today's event will include distinguished speakers and organizations from all over Europe. Stakeholders, both on the local and the national level, working on skills today in view of tomorrow's challenges and opportunities. They will share experiences, good practices, hopefully, with in mind the transformational power of upskilling and reskilling. That's today's theme. On behalf of the organizers, a big thank you to the hundreds and even thousands of organizations all across Europe that are the face of this European Year of Skills. And dear audience, both here and online, you will be invited to join the discussion throughout this event. Now, I mentioned we are at the Cité des Métiers. That's no coincidence. The Cité des Métiers is a bilingual professional orientation guidance center where since 2018, Formation Bruxelles, Actiris and VDAB Brussels work together also with other partners in the field of education and entrepreneurship. They work together to help people find jobs or ways to change or further their career at any given age and at any given point in their lives. Cité des Métiers is part of an international network originating in Paris and now currently active in 6 European countries. Since May 22, the Cité des Métiers Brussels has participated in the development of OTLAF, a lifelong guidance system, which guides, as mentioned, people during their entire career from education and training to employment. The service has been increasing its reach with a growing number of customers. And over the last year, no surprise, it has also provided services in Ukrainian to help people who fled the war and landed here. Or in other Cités des Métiers across Europe. The Cité des Métiers generates, no surprise there, a great deal of interest both in Brussels and from institutions abroad. But enough of me. It's now time to turn to the official opening of this event with a keynote speech by the President of the European Commission, Ms. Ursula von der Leyen. She will introduce the key theme of skills, its significance, specifically, of course, to the twin ambitions and transitions the Commission is working on, both the green and digital transformation. And she will tell us why she proposed a European Year of Skills. Here's Ms. Ursula von der Leyen.
Welcome to the European Year of Skills Festival. I am thrilled that so many of you are here or connected online. Education is not just a preparation for life, but education becomes a way of life. And this is what our European Year of Skills is all about. Whether you're starting out in your career, are midway through it, or you're nearing the end, investing in training is not just the right thing to do, it's the smart thing to do. Because our world is being transformed by technology and by the clean transition. And this also creates new jobs and different ways of working that didn't exist even yesterday. 1 million new opportunities for people of all ages. Initiatives like the Pact for Skills are bringing together governments and businesses, industry and trainers, social partners and authorities on the ground, and you name it. Only together can we help millions of Europeans upskill and reskill. People who like and can do their work. With them, we build a Europe that is more competitive and more resilient. And I wish you a wonderful festival and a happy Europe Day. Thank you.
The digital transformation is happening all around us. I'm sure you've realized in our daily lives, a lot of services, for example, are being appified, and businesses and governments are trying to keep up as much as we are with this ever-evolving development. All of us have to catch up and adapt, though that's much easier said than done. I'm sure you agree. Because if you look at the idea of digital skills as a way of life, one might wonder if it's a realistic objective, if it's attainable really, if you know that about 90% of jobs in the near future will require digital skills. Fact. But only 46% of people in the EU can actually perform basic digital tasks, such as connecting to Wi-Fi, for example, or using websites even. More than 70% of businesses see lack of digital skills as an obstacle to investment. So no wonder the EU decides to invest in developing digital skills, and more, and continuous investment is planned. Now, next, you will hear from Belgium's longest established production house, Sylvester Productions it's called. It's a company producing TV, video, events and content. Good morning to you, Geert van Overschelde, CEO of Sylvester Productions, and Vince Jacobs, Senior Event Producer at Sylvester Productions. Good to see you. Thank you for joining us.
Hello, Annelies. Nice to see you.
Likewise. First thing I'm wondering, I can imagine that the pandemic, it seems a long time ago now, but it's really just around the corner, isn't it? Or we've just turned a corner. That the pandemic forced you to think again about how to organize work and what skills were needed to keep the company running. Can you tell us what you changed and how you managed that?
Yeah, well, welcome at Sylvester Productions. We are in fact a hybrid event, video and television company. And as you can see, I am a big fan of Hergé, the Belgian author of Tintin. And in his album Destination Moon, he showed already he was a real promoter in the early 50s of reskilling and upskilling. But as for Sylvester, in the first weeks after the COVID outbreak, we had to change, and we suffered a lot. We suffered a loss of about 3.5 million euro in turnover in events in the first couple of months. But that was not something only for us, it was for the whole sector in Belgium and in Europe. But most agencies chose to send their people on, to send their staff on technical or temporary unemployment, waiting for the COVID storm to pass. But our company mission is to unite and connect people, and so we asked ourselves how we could continue to do so. And we looked at the skills we had in our company, that were video skills, that were content making and scenario skills for television, and of course our event skills. So we asked ourselves how to reskill, to find new ways of organizing events. And we drastically changed to digital events that were not the Teams or the Zoom sessions or webinars, but real state-of-the-art streaming events, starting from a concept and a scenario, and with a lot of experience and interaction, exactly as the event we are having today. It meant for our event people to learn the ABC of video and television dynamics, and for our video people, our audiovisual people, to get into the basics of event skills. In the beginning that was not so easy, but we did many tryouts, and after some weeks or maybe a couple of months, all fell into place. But we were not completely satisfied with the level of interaction and experience we could achieve. And we asked ourselves how we could do better. So we asked 3 producers in our company who had quite a programmatic mindset to conceive such a digital platform in which a participant could experience a digital event as he experiences a physical event. And the result of this all was Meeple. Meeple was an event venue platform, a virtual event venue platform in which the participant could really navigate through the venue as he can do in real life. Yeah? In autumn 2020, we had all this expertise and experience and skills on board, and we could offer our clients a wide range of possibilities to connect people in digital events. Okay, so one of the persons, it meant a big boost for our company. Not only we organized more than 120 digital events since autumn 2020, we also were awarded SME of the Year in our region, and we grew in staff from 20 to 40 to more than 40 persons. One of the persons whose skills and role in the company changed most was Vince. Vince was a senior event producer, fully concentrating on physical events, but we felt immediately that he understood very well the new needed skills. So we appointed him as one of the leaders of this hybrid and online switch. Hello, Vince. Can you say something more about what the digital switch in our company meant for you?
Of course. Well, thank you, Geert. The transition from physical to digital events required me to adapt my day-to-day tasks. For example, decorating a stage is different from set dressing for a stream or a recording, like we're doing right now. Moreover, during virtual events, we do not receive the same visible feedback on how people experience everything, unlike with live events. And our team also didn't have the right skills from the start, so we did a group effort to learn about the ins and outs of online events, either by upskilling or reskilling ourselves. So we had some of the colleagues that had experience in streaming games, for example. We could repurpose this knowledge into a business context. Other new expertise and how-to knowledge had to be gained by either trial and error, internal education, and knowledge sharing, of course, or just asking partners with the right background for help.
You are considered one of the co-inventors of the Meeple platform. I think it's a real example of upskilling.
Well, Geert, our virtual event platform, Meeple, has been crucial in attracting new and diverse customers. As we are not an IT or web development company ourselves, we worked with partners to build an online event venue that caters to different audiences, while still being able to adapt and use our event skills to create something unique and engaging. And now we see, post-COVID, we use our new skills to combine physical and online to organize hybrid events, which we believe is a new standard in the industry.
Thank you, Vince. So, Annelies, that was the change for Vince Jacobs. But of course, he was not the only person in the company whose role changed and who had to acquire new skills. Now, for many of our employees, we focus on those hybrid skills. When we hire someone, it's not only a video or an event expert. We focus on these hybrid skills, and that's our future. So, that is our story. We were very happy to share it with you all there in Brussels and all over Europe, and we are now very curious to hear more stories from all over Europe. Thanks for listening.
Thank you, Geert van Overschelde and Vince Jacobs. Thank you for sharing that. And from my point of view, a hybrid event is much more fun to do with your reaction of live audience than just online. But the great thing is that the online audience can be drawn in and is actually out there enjoying this as much as we are. So that's an advantage, let's say, that we were left with after the horrible pandemic. Now, on to Berlin, where Executive Vice President of the Commission, Margaretha Vestager, also wants to address us. The floor is yours, Ms. Vestager.
You can have all the ideas, all the ambitions, all the money in the world. If you do not have skills, nothing will actually materialize. Today we're at a German company in Berlin, 50 years history, so they have traveled a lot. 130 employees. They would help to do sort of the technology of the trains, making sure that the cameras are working, that privacy is in place. They would digitalize tracks. They're also European in their outreach. So they do a lot of different things. And obviously, when you're 50 years old, well, transport has changed just unbelievably.
We believe in lifelong learning because everything always changes, not just in the construction site, but also in the technology we install. We've gone through a change from analog to digital technology, both on track and in the transport modes. And I need my employees to be able to handle that, because who would change really valuable employees just for a change in technology? We actually use a number of formats to stay trained and to stay on top of things. The first one is developed for our young stars, our apprenticeships. They use an app to learn the content that they need to pass their exams. Outside on the construction site, we also use an app to document what we do, but to keep on top of security and safety trainings. The last thing we do is expert labs. They happen traditionally here in our old S-Bahn train, where we meet with other companies. I think it's really important to stay inspired, so we work with a number of tech startups, but also older and well-integrated companies. And we actually work together in workshops, trying new things, exploring new technologies, with a good gamification factor. It's always important to have fun at work.
One of the great things that I have seen here is that you have a YouTube channel that will show you a specific task. So when you have to do it, you can sort of check the YouTube video, and then the minute after you can actually do it. Which means that you can translate what you see to something tangible that you do with your hands. And in my experience, that's an excellent way of learning. Skills is the key to getting things done.
Executive Vice President of the Commission, Margareta Vestager there. Now on to Ukraine, where in spite of the war, people are keeping an eye on the future. They're already shaping it, preparing it, as it were. Ukraine, you might want to know, aims to become the most digital state in the world. It's an ambition that took root 3 years ago. So it precedes the invasion of Russia over a little over a year ago. The ambition still stands firm, and it is to make everyone digitally literate. To tell you more about the how and the why, here is Valeria Ionan. She's the Deputy Minister of Digital Transformation in Ukraine.
Hi, my name is Valerie, and I'm Deputy Minister for Euro Integration at the Ministry of Digital Transformation of Ukraine. And I'm happy to welcome everyone at the European Year of Skills Festival, and I congratulate everyone with Europe Day. The Ministry of Digital Transformation of Ukraine was created 3 years ago and is well known for digital reforms in Ukraine, as well as for launching DIA, an ecosystem of national digital projects, which is the part of State in Smartphone presidential promise. Today, I will tell you more about one of the DIA ecosystem projects, DIA Digital Education. So why DIA Digital Education is important? We in Ukraine are working hard to make Ukraine the most convenient digital state in the world. And it's impossible to do so if people will have low level of digital literacy. That's why our project has two parts: edutainment platform and network of offline hubs. Only for now, we have created more than 100 plus series in different topics for different segments of target audience. We have 1.5 million registrations with 75% success rate. We have developed 4 digigrams, which are basically tests for digital literacy, which are based on European framework Digicomp 2.1. However, there are plenty of new challenges which are coming and coming: low level of digital literacy, big level of unemployment because of full-scale Russian invasion to Ukraine, approach to consuming the information which is constantly changing. That's why we are changing our platform from DIA Digital Education to DIA education. It is a significant step into the upskilling and reskilling sector for internally displaced people, veterans and switchers who must develop new skills to change their jobs. Having a workforce with the skills that are in demand contributes to sustainable growth, leads to more innovation and improves competitiveness. Skilled workers enjoy better job opportunities as well as broader possibilities to fully engage in society. As for the innovations of the new DIA education platform, I want to highlight 4 main sections. The first one, lifelong learning. Second one, reskilling, upskilling and employment. Third one, simulators. And the fourth one, the updated computer science for scholars. DIA education will also provide an integration with job search websites and current job offers catalog. So after finishing the educational way through the platform, users can easily get to the list of available job opportunities according to the chosen profession and chosen region. Simulators are one of the most innovative parts with effective live experience of specialist day and interactive selection of appropriate situations. Also, it's important to mention that the platform will be bilingual and all the content will be available in Ukrainian and in English. The relaunch of DIA education will be on the 17th of May. I would also like to thank to Google.org and East Europe Foundation for this support. Our mission is to give everyone free and convenient access to modern education. asvita.dia.gov.ua.
So you get an idea now of how both businesses and public authorities are dealing with the digital transformation or trying to. But if you know that 4 out of 10 adults and every third person who works in Europe lacks basic digital skills, the digital transformation won't be completed overnight. And also it raises the question, what does all this retraining and so forth mean for individuals, for people undergoing these trajectories and taking it to heart, doing it in fact? Citizens all over Europe. To talk about that, I've got 2 guests here who will share their experience with us. Welcome to Letizia Piras, you're from Italy, Ferrara, and welcome to Sohail Hassani, originally from Iran, now living and working in the Netherlands. Welcome to both of you. Letizia, I'm going to start with you. You originally got a degree in environmental biotechnologies in 2021 in Ferrara, and then added on a training course, IFTS Junior Expert in Circular Economy. Weren't you satisfied with the original course you took?
Well, I was satisfied with my bachelor because it gave me an academic preparation. But then when I was filling my CV, I realized that I didn't know what to write under skills. And I realized I lacked of practical knowledge. So instead of just continuing with the standard university path, I decided to discover what I liked or didn't like to do through practice, so to try to work in the job market. So I was enrolled in different employment agencies, and then one of them suggested me to enroll in this IFTS course. And I really liked it because it had practical method, and also it was fully funded by the Emilia-Romagna region and different entities, including the ITRO materials and the EFS. And
so also European money is what you're saying was invested in it.
Yeah,
made
exactly.
it possible
and it was
for
totally
you.
accessible for me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And one thing I really liked, and I think it's the most powerful tool that this course gave me, was the intervention of different experts, so I could understand their stories and their paths in order to give me a lot of inspiration. And this was a game changer for me to enter into the job market and work as a project manager like I'm doing now.
Yeah, you seem very happy with that choice and change or extra added track in your career. Sohail Hassani, very different story. You came from Iran to the Netherlands. What did you have as a degree when you left Iran?
I had a bachelor degrees in electrotechnical engineering, but I also took a course in web designing.
Okay, and then you arrive in the Netherlands. How easy was it or not to find a job with your degrees and capacities?
Well, I came to Netherlands as a refugee, so at the beginning was not so easy. But also then afterward, after my residence permit, I started applying for jobs. And then at some point I realized I don't have the I don't have enough skill or experience which is required in the market. So then when I started looking out for schools or courses that was possible there, and then I heard from a friend from Make IT Work, which is from the Amsterdam University of Applied Science. And then there was like, oh, it is exactly what I was looking for.
Okay, and what did they offer you? What did they supply that you needed?
First of all, the first thing that was very interesting, there was a sort of very interesting process of applying. But one of the very first things before even starting to study, we had an event called the Employers Market. So there we had interviews with actual employees, people who were looking for people who could possibly have a skill. So even before starting my studies, I already had a job. So that was for me a relief. Then that feeling that you have after your studies, when you're done with studying and you're like, what now? Where do I
The big black hole, yeah.
That stress wasn't there anymore. So I could just focus on my studies and like just focus on skilling up.
Quite a relief. Still, you are both enthusiastic about what you experienced, but do you have any suggestion for making this kind of training even more accessible or better still from your experience?
From my experience, I think that, for example, the employment agency suggested me this course because I didn't know its existence. So I would suggest even to already try to share the availability of these courses during high school, and also to promote this throughout universities, and to make more of these courses, because this was like a first trial, but then I think that my peers would really enjoy to have more of these courses around.
Okay, and you? One more suggestion, making it more widely known, but also...
Yeah, sort of the same, because when I started this, I heard it from a friend, and every time I was talking to my friends about what I'm doing, they were very curious of like, where is this? How does it work? So I think not many people know about this option. So if the marketing would be better, or the word be more spread, that would help a lot of people to find this, because this is a very great opportunity to people upskill or reskill.
Okay. So. Thank you very much for sharing your stories with us, Leticia Piraz and Sohail Hassani. Thank you so much.
See you.
We are moving on because, or maybe not yet, because I can imagine that some of you have a similar story you might want to share, or have a skill journey, so to speak. So if you feel like sharing it, do go to Twitter and use the hashtag European Year of Skills, and you can learn from each other. Who knows? So far now for digital transition, that chapter we close now, but we move on to the green transition. It's a small word, green transition, but it has a very huge impact. It certainly poses one of Europe's biggest challenges, possibly also opportunities for the future. And to introduce some talking points and ideas about the green transition, we turn to Sweden, currently holding the presidency of the Council of the EU, of course, and a climate-neutral economy will require a fundamental transformation in the job market, is the idea. Now, new jobs will be created in areas such as water supply, sewage and waste management, but also in construction and electricity. It is estimated that 1.5 million additional jobs will be created in those areas by 2030. Mats Persson, the Swedish Minister of Education, sent this message.
Good afternoon, everyone, and greetings from Stockholm, Sweden. I'm very glad that the European Year of Skills is now launched, and we're happy to do so during the second half of our presidency of the Council of the European Union. I'm also sure that the upcoming Spanish and Belgian presidencies will manage the European Year of Skills in an excellent way. In times of the green and digital transition, a skilled workforce is more important than ever. The value of education in the efforts to achieve the twin transition cannot be emphasized enough. This will ensure better matching to the labour market needs, enable the transitions, and enhance the European Union's future competitiveness. Everyone should be given the chance to keep up with the new knowledge requirements placed on the labour market. No one should be left behind. Within the battery sector, an estimated 3 to 4 million jobs will be created in the coming years. Many different skills and competencies are needed, not only engineers. In the film we are about to see, we will meet Angelica, who decided to re-skill to become an automation operator, just one of the sector-specific skills needed in the emerging battery storage industries. We should use the European Year of Skills to further build the commitment from the Member States and from the social partners to up and re-skill our workforce. This is also why we, during the Swedish presidency, have put skills on the agenda for several of our meetings. Finally, I wish you good luck with the remaining parts of this event, and I'm full of expectations on what the European Year of Skills will bring us. Thank you.
And thank to you, Mr. Persson. Now, a greener and a cleaner Europe may be a worthy cause and possibly a future-proof project, but it still poses quite a number of practical challenges. For example, and it was mentioned by Mr. Persson, the storage of green energy so far still needs a lot of work. In developing the appropriate battery technology, for example, and in the next video, you will be introduced to the Alliance for Batteries, Technology, Training and Skills, to the European Battery Academy in Belgium, the Automotive Skills Alliance in Czechia, and Prime Batteries Technology in Romania. It's an international collaboration between a number of businesses and organizations looking for what you might call sort of a holy grail of, for a greener future, and very much also requiring an answer to the specific skills shortage. Here's the video.
A new industrial revolution is taking place, and it's green, it's zero emissions, it's electric. Last year saw records broken in measurements of greenhouse gas concentrations, sea level rise, ocean heat, and ocean acidification. These markers of climate change highlighted the need to achieve carbon neutrality and constrain global warming to avoid the worst consequences of climate change. Since energy, including industry heating and transport, accounts for 73% of all emissions, there's an urgent need to expand the use of renewables such as solar and wind. One major problem, however, is reliability. While sunlight and wind don't always reach solar panels and wind turbines, our need for electricity to power our cars, handheld devices, homes, and so much more is constant. That's where storage technologies, such as batteries, can make a big difference. Batteries can provide renewable power in a stable form, eliminating any disturbances that intermittency might cause. The growth of acceptance and use of renewable energy and battery storage is impacting the job market and the need for a trained workforce to design, manufacture, integrate, and maintain these technologies.
Well, scaling up a factory towards gigawatt-hour level, one of the major problems that we are facing is getting the right talents. So we need in average between 90 to 100 new people working in our factories for each gigawatt-hour that we create.
New projects across the value chain are expected to create between 3 and 4 million direct and indirect jobs over the next few years. The industry requires a diverse range of skills, from engineering and manufacturing skills, chemistry, data science, to troubleshooting, diagnostics, and repair.
Before I started automation operator education here at VUX 2020, I worked 8 years in a grocery store here in Skellefteå. This education is calculated to be as short and effective as possible, so it was a great concept and that suited me super. The easiest way I learn is when I combine the practical and theoretical exercises together. A huge piece of the puzzle was, of course, our great teachers. They gave support to everyone, even when it was a class widespread of knowledge.
New job roles emerge, such as battery material engineers, cell design engineers, and battery test technicians that require training in sector-specific skills, and the shortage of a skilled workforce is a major challenge. In fact, there is such an acute workforce shortage that 71% of CEOs said a skills shortage is now their most significant business challenge. In short, this means that approximately 800,000 workers will need to be trained, upskilled, or reskilled by 2025 to meet this demand. Thanks to multiple funding streams from the European Union, Europe is ahead of the curve. The road to a green future for Europe, supported by a suitably skilled workforce, has already been paved with new collaborations between Albats, EIT InnoEnergy, the Automotive Skills Alliance, the European Battery Alliance, and many more.
We call it a partnership between the companies because we can develop the programs that we want to use for our colleagues. We can also use Romanian language, and we can also promote new technologies and new curricula for our programs, such as energy storage systems or energy management systems and so on.
They are already building on success stories by jointly delivering learning content and training programs in multiple languages available to training providers across Europe, thereby drastically reducing the cost and time to upskill and or reskill workers across the continent.
Dreams don't come true often, but I managed, and I got super excited the day I got the offer that Northvolt wanted me on board.
It's the year of skills, and we're upskilling and reskilling for a future-ready workforce. Visit any of our coalition partner websites to learn more.
And one takeaway from this video is, if you ask me, that great teachers can make all the difference in a life. Now, so far, we've heard from businesses and public authorities dealing with digital transformation. We've heard from EU citizens, they're both over there, about their reskilling trajectory, and we've discussed some aspects of green transition. Now it's time to delve into who should be, could be, and will be attracted and trained, and how to make these jobs, old ones, changing into different ones, or new ones coming into existence, attractive and feasible for people. For people looking for a job, whatever their age or background or wherever they are from. Because attracting skills from outside the EU is vital. Will come as no surprise to you. Europe's population is aging, as mentioned before by various speakers. The EU also has to deal with labour shortages and skill shortages. In Athens, right now, as we speak, in Greece, European Commission Vice President Margaritas Skinas is ready to share his insights and ideas. Good afternoon, Mr. Skinas. I can see you are in good company there. What is your take on why the EU needs international talent? And one takeaway from this video is, if you ask me, that great teachers can make all the difference in a life. Over there, about their reskilling trajectory, and we've discussed some aspects of green transition. Now it's time to delve into who should be, could be, and would be attracted and trained, and how to make these age or background or wherever they are from. Because attracting skills from outside the EU is vital. Will come as no surprise to you. Europe's population is aging, as mentioned before by various speakers. The EU also has to deal with labour shortages and skill shortages. In Athens, right now, as we speak, in Greece, European Commission Vice President Margarita Skinas is ready to share his insights and ideas. Good afternoon, Mr. Skinas. I can see you are in good company there. What is your take on why the EU needs international talents?
Good afternoon. Good afternoon from Athens. I hope you can hear me.
We can hear you loud and clear.
It is a fantastic moment here in Athens. We are surrounded by more than 1,000 young people, trainers, students, learners, celebrating this dual celebration of Europe Day and the launch of the European Year of Skills. For the first time, the discussion on skills needs to move from diagnostics to action. And this is the moment. The European Year is a fantastic opportunity, a platform that would allow us to bridge this skills mismatch. We need to do it. We have the money, we have the resources, we have the political will, we have the blueprint, but we will never make it unless we also include in our policy mix some sort of organized labor mobility. Europe needs to attract talent from partner countries. The demographic rate is unfortunately dramatic. At the beginning of last century, Europeans, we were 20% of the world population. At the beginning of this century, we are 10% of the world population. And by 2050, we will be 5%. This is a compelling reason to start organizing talent partnerships with third countries, with partner countries, doing it in an orderly, coordinated way, matching the needs of our labor market, the talent and the available resources in candidate countries. This is the moment to do it. And in a few minutes, we will be acknowledging Greeks, migrants with a migrant background who have been trained as farmers. This is the way, the European way.
Thank you very much, Mr. Skinas, and we wish you there's applause here from the audience in Brussels. We wish you and all those young people around you happy continuation of Europe's Day. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us here in Brussels. Goodbye to all of you. Bye-bye. Over to Adriana Vejsova on behalf of the DigiTalents project in Slovakia. Tell us more about your labor migration scheme, please, designed to attract new talent to the ICT sector.
Good day to everyone. I hope you are enjoying the festival. I'd like to thank the organizers for the opportunity to present the project DigiTalents concerning labor mobility program of IT professionals between Slovakia, Ukraine and Moldova. We prepared the project because Slovakia faces a severe shortage of IT professionals, approximately 20,000 people. In the project, we run a labor mobility scheme which allows young IT talents from Moldova and Ukraine to come to Slovakia and work for companies in Slovakia. An essential part of the project is capacity building, through which we train participants' professional skills before they come to Slovakia, while they are working in Slovakia and after they return home. to Moldova so they can contribute to development of their countries. This way, the project Digitalens is beneficial for all involved countries and enable us to contribute to transferring the knowledge from Slovakia to Moldova and Ukraine. I'm here with one of the program participants, Corina Sklifos. Corina, you work for Millennium, the Soitron group, where you started as data scientist. What was your professional path since you joined the program?
At first, I worked with new technologies that I haven't used before. And luckily, I have a really great team that support and coach me. Thanks to them, I was able to learn and develop my skills. And they also keep me motivated for all my journey. Also, I'm thrilled to have the opportunity to attend the Azure Data Engineer course that provide me with knowledge and skills necessary to cover Microsoft certification. Living and work in a new environment make me to develop my soft skill. Also, now I'm able to work with different teams, with people with different environments, and succeed in various contexts. Thank you. And when you think of your future in IT industry, where do you see yourself? Actually, I would like to establish my own startup, and also I would like to maintain connection with a company I'm currently work for.
It was nice sharing all of this with you today. Good luck with the rest of the event. We will be following closely.
And good luck to Corina Sklifos with her ambitions for her own startup in Moldova. Now, from the ICT sector in Slovakia, let's move to the chemistry sector in Slovenia. The researchers in the National Institute of Chemistry in Ljubljana are also acquiring new skills. They are working together in an international environment and contributing to the research agenda of long-term importance to Europe.
Hi, Annelies. We are here at the National Institute of Chemistry in Ljubljana in Slovenia, and we are, of course, very happy to be contributing to the launch festival of the European Year of Skills. And now, let me tell you how do we contribute to developing skills in the field of research and innovation. We are the oldest and the second biggest research institution in Slovenia, with almost 400 employees, among which more than 300 carry out research activities. We are especially proud of the international dimension of our research, having around 30 researchers coming from other EU countries and an additional 30 from countries outside the EU. It is very important to us to be able to attract the best talent from across the world and be involved in the EU research and innovation program Horizon Europe. Our research is oriented towards the development of new technologies and products relevant for the green transition and also for health. Our researchers work in internationally important areas such as environmental protection, chemical engineering, material research, and some others. And what we are very proud of is that we have an energetic team of researchers with a lot of young colleagues. They represent around 1/3 of staff members. And now let me introduce you to one of them. This is our colleague, Olivera Lužanin.
Hi, I'm Olivera from Serbia. I'm speaking today from Slovenia. I'm a member of the group for modern battery systems here at the National Institute of Chemistry in Ljubljana. I'm a PhD student and I spend most of my days working on multivalent metal organic batteries. We are working on understanding, and through diligent research we hope to gain better understanding of these systems and hopefully contribute to them reaching market at some point. I was fortunate enough to be a member of the Polystorage European Training Network, and through that network I was able to travel around Europe and to establish collaborations with many academic and non-academic partners. I spent a portion of my PhD in Basque Country, in Finland, and in Italy working in one company. Through the scope of Marie Curie Network, I was able to collaborate with many experts from Slovenia. but also with many experts from different fields from outside of Slovenia. I was fortunate enough to spend some time in Spain and Finland, where I learned a lot about organic synthesis as well as microscopy. And the way that this experience affected me is that I gained new perspectives on the things that I'm working on, and I also gained some perspectives on the new fields that I wasn't so familiar with before I started my PhD.
Thank you very much, Olivera. You're a proof that a professional career is a journey of a constant learning. And with all of this, I wish you a happy European Year of Skills, or in Slovenian, srečno Evropsko leto spretnosti. Goodbye and have a nice time. See you.
Thank you, Natasha and Olivera, for sharing your stories with us. And now, dear audience, online and here, it's time for you to flex your muscles and shake your brains, because I have a couple of questions that I would like you to answer, either through the use of what's it called? An app, the QR code, thank you, or via the slido.com application using the code you can read on the screen. It's better this way, isn't it? Indeed. First question coming up. See if you were paying attention this past hour. What percentage of companies in the EU reports difficulties finding workers with the necessary skills? You see 4 options. Do pick one, and as soon as you've picked the right or the wrong answer, we should see the result. I see that people are answering. See here. So most of you are quite pessimistic, in fact, putting it at 77%. And indeed, it is 77%. Over 3/4 of European enterprises hope to see an upskilled workforce. So yes, there is an urgent need. Next question. How many Europeans lack basic digital skills according to the latest available data? 12, 28, 46 or 62? Okay. I'm glad to see that most of you were paying attention. I did mention it indeed. 46% is the correct answer. Striking data. There is indeed a need to invest in upskilling digital skills in the European Union, must be the conclusion. Last question on the objectives of the European Year of Skills. Which of these is not an objective of the European Year of Skills? I'm not going to read them out. I think you can read them. And are all answers in? Still coming in? Okay, you're quite united on that. Number 5. All right. Correct answer is indeed to provide the uninterrupted 5G coverage in all urban areas is not on the agenda as far as the European Year of Skills is concerned. It's part, though, of the Digital Decade agenda, not the European Year of Skills. So thank you for joining in that little quiz. Get you all involved, as it were. So, we are going to discuss how to match what is needed to be done in the job market and on what people actually want, citizens, individuals with their own aspirations, hopes and ideas of their careers, their lives. In the European Parliament, this too is a matter of debate and thought. Let's hear from Lucas Furlas, member of the EP and the rapporteur for the European Year of Skills decision, and Dragos Pislaru, MEP as well, and chair of the Committee on Employment and Social Affairs. Over to the European Parliament in Brussels.
Hello everyone from the European Parliament in Brussels. I'm very glad to have here with me Mr. Dragos Pislaru, the Chair of the Committee on Employment and Social Affairs, and the Rapporteur of the European Year of Skills, Mr. Furlas. Both have played a crucial role on the file of the European Year of Skills during the negotiations from the beginning of the procedure until the official adoption by the plenary in March. So let's start with Mr. Furlas. As the Rapporteur of the European Year of Skills, could you please list the most important priorities for you this year?
Thank you for the invitation. The European Year of Skills is a great opportunity for every European. It is focused on upskilling and reskilling. Personally, my main priority is to reach every European citizen in every corner of Europe and provide them with these opportunities. For me, it is very important to raise awareness and communicate the message that we must be ready to provide European citizens with the right skills to face digital and green transition. We aim to connect universities with market and market with society.
Mr. Pislaru, you are very active on this file from the beginning. So my question is, how can we localize skills and ensure that the work in the European Year of Skills will reach private companies, education institutions, of course, the third sector and stakeholders?
It is really crucial that the European Year of Skills would not be seen just a Brussels initiative. We need to have our citizens the direct experience of their impact of the European Year of Skills in their local aspects of their life. We need to have entrepreneurs understanding how this works. We need to have the civil society and everyone understanding that the European Year of Skills is for each and every citizens wherever they are in the European Union. There are a couple of things that we have imagined for the Year of Skills. First of all, this idea of a local pact for skills. We need these strategies at local level to respond to the regional needs and the local needs and close the gap between the skill shortage and the better job offers. This should be the format in which we create skills in the next period. Then we have this idea of hub for skills, or academies, as the European Commission have put it more recently. And we need these kind of spaces for training, knowledge exchange, and sharing innovative practices between stakeholders. And with this idea of incubating skills for the twin transitions with the climate change and the digital transformation as well. This format of one-stop shops, we use it in the past, but right now it's important to use it for skills development. Last but not least, and this is a very important issue for us in the European Parliament, we have been witnessing the European Year of Youth last year, and I think that the legacy of that year should be felt in the European Year of Skills. Young people should be at the forefront of our efforts so that they will be able to participate in this ambitious process of transforming the EU.
So it's important to de-Brusselizing the whole thing and to pass the message.
Yeah, Brussels will still play a role, but what is important is to be sure that we are not just going to keep it here in an ivory tower in Brussels, but instead to be sure that it's all over in the Union and it's about people and investment in people.
So, Mr. Furlas, what is the main message that you would like to send to the European citizens?
We have to learn from our mistakes. My message is clear from the day one. No one should be left behind. This is the message I want to send. This includes students, employees, people in remote areas, with people with disabilities and vulnerable groups. Our goal is to reach everyone and build a competitive Europe with confident professionals. Let's make it happen.
Thank you, Mr. Furlas. And last but not least, so how can a European Year of Skills help our EU labour market to be competitive, as Mr. Furlas said, beyond 2023?
I think that my dear colleague Lucas Furlas mentioned the plea that we have from the European Parliament for inclusiveness, to be sure that no one is going to be left behind. But at the same time, there is a balance, because we would like also a competitive union, and fighting and investing in skills is just like that. This is the momentum for rethinking the way we invest in people, in our human capital, and implementing these new approaches that correspond to our changing needs. And as everyone is aware, right now we are preparing for a new industrial strategy, the so-called net zero industrial strategy, where one of the fundamental chapters is the skills chapter. We might be in a transformation that is going to take everyone by storm and not have people to actually deliver it. And that's very important. And we will fight from the European Parliament position to be sure that competitiveness includes this kind of investment in skills. Last but not least, there will be plenty of EU funding opportunities. And we need to be sure from the Parliament side, as a scrutiny function that we deliver, that the money will reach the right people, the right entrepreneurs, the right local authorities, so that the investment in skills is going to be put until 2023 and beyond. I would like also to mention the fact that we are not talking about, things that we can spread here and there. In fact, we are talking about ecosystems. We are talking about sectorial ecosystems, we are talking about raw materials ecosystems, about innovation ecosystems. So it's very important to involve especially SMEs and businesses in co-creation process on this one. And I would dare to say that the objective is right now even more pressing than before. This is not business as usual. We have actually managed multiple crises at the same time. So investing in people and in skills is a crucial thing for the future.
Thank you, both of you, and let's make it happen.
Thanks.
Some critical and self-critical suggestions from the European Parliament there. One thing is learning from your mistakes, always a good idea, and also not leaving anyone behind. And last but not least, not organize a year of skills top-bottom, but bottom-up. So thank you to Mr. Fulas and Pilsaru for the input. Now, principles and ideas are one side of the coin. Practical implementation is another, and it often depends on the context as well. In Basque County, eCivis is an organization that takes civic engagement to heart. You will hear from them how they managed to integrate over 50 employees into the labor market.
Buenos días, eskerrik asko, gracias José Luis, Susana, Joancas, por acompañar a eCivis en este día, 9 de mayo, Día de Europa, que celebramos en el contexto del Año Europeo de las Competencias. ¿Qué iniciativas estáis poniendo en marcha y qué demandas ves tanto en las personas que se acercan como en las empresas que también demandan perfiles?
Cuando las personas acuden a la federación en búsqueda de una oportunidad laboral, nos encontramos con personas que lo que necesitan es mejorar sus herramientas de empleabilidad y sobre todo lo que nos encontramos son personas que lo que necesitan es una recualificación. Por eso el estar trabajando en una federación de empresas donde conocemos perfectamente qué es lo que la empresa está demandando, nos permite crear formaciones específicas para esos puestos de trabajo que la empresa necesita hoy en día, ¿no?
Ya que tenemos aquí a Joanca, que ha participado en una de estas iniciativas, pues bueno, cuéntanos un poco, ¿no? ¿Cuál ha sido la experiencia en estos programas y se lo recomendarías a otras personas?
Precisamente yo soy un clásico ejemplo de participación en el programa Malan Plus. Es orientado a mujeres mayores de 50 años desempleadas con cierta responsabilidad dentro de la organización. Este programa es un programa integral e intensivo dirigido a las mujeres y que nos forman profesionales muy bien preparados para reincorporarnos nuevamente a la vida laboral. Yo exhorto a todo el mundo que participe en estos programas.
¿En qué consiste, ¿no?, la metodología que desarrolláis aquí y bueno, a qué personas va dirigida?
42 Urduliz es un campus de programación que forma parte de la red global 42 con 48 campuses en todo el mundo, escuelas de programación en todo el mundo. El principal objetivo de 42 es dar una formación técnica de calidad, pero sobre todo basada en unos valores inclusivos, una cultura abierta, una búsqueda constante de la excelencia y dentro de la gratuidad. Y nuestro último objetivo es buscar la inclusión laboral de forma sostenible.
¿Qué esperáis de este año europeo y de qué manera, bueno, pensáis que las personas podríamos interiorizar, ¿no? Ese eslogan, ¿no?, del aprendizaje a lo largo de toda la vida.
Si las profesiones cambian y las empresas buscan profesionales con competencias diferentes a las de ahora, la formación va a tener siempre un papel muy importante.
Mayor empleo para mujeres mayores de 50 años.
Para mí la clave es que cada persona encuentre su pasión y que la siga.
Muchísimas gracias a los tres por haber participado y nada, nos vemos en la siguiente. Agur.
And from Basque Country back to Brussels, where I'm pleased to welcome two new guests. Brenda Godoy and Álvaro Ferreira are here to share with you their experiences with retraining and reskilling. Welcome, both of you. Brenda Godoy, I'm going to start with you. Originally from Argentina, currently living and working in Holland. You completed a degree in Argentina before you moved to the Netherlands. Was it a degree that allowed you to easily find a job?
I studied chemical engineering in Argentina. And when I moved to the Netherlands, I found it pretty hard to find a job. I did not speak the language, I had no contacts, and I also had undiagnosed ADHD, which made it really hard to apply to jobs and all those things. So, no, it was not easy to find a job when I first moved.
But you are here because you found a way to a job. How did that go? What tour did you take?
Well, after applying to some jobs, I started losing confidence in myself. And, I didn't really know what to do with my career. But I did know that I was going to need the language, so I focused on that. And when I felt confident enough, it's still work in progress, but I learned it enough that I could retrain. And I did a program called Make IT Work, where I retrained into software engineering, and that's what I'm currently doing for the Dutch Chamber of Commerce.
Okay, but how did you hear about this retraining opportunity?
My former boss introduced me to the program. So
okay, and you are doing something else entirely now? How do you feel about that? Do you still miss being an engineer?
I am an engineer. I'm a software engineer now. I absolutely love what I'm doing.
So it depends on how you look at it. But you seem very, very happy with that. Thank you for sharing that with us. I also heard you say it's not easy and you can easily lose confidence if you're not invited or given the opportunity to actually flex your muscle, use your degrees and your knowledge. And you overcame that, obviously. Álvaro Ferreira, welcome to you too. I should just bem-vindo. I should say we're going to do this in Portuguese. It's not because you cannot understand or hear what we have to say to each other, but it's more comfortable that way, and then I'll translate in between. Álvaro Ferreira, você começou trabalhando em lojas, etc., mas mudou a carreira completamente. Por quê?
Então, eu tinha 25 anos e decidi mudar de vida e sair da minha zona de conforto. Trabalhava em restauração e fui lojista, mas não me sentia realizado. Até que uma conversa ao jantar de família, eu decidi que queria tirar o curso de cabeleireiro e apostei.
Ok. Peraí. So he was a young man working in retail and restaurants, among others, but not feeling like he was realizing his total potential, being his best possible self, talking to family and friends. He realized he could actually retrain. E então, o que aconteceu? Como você chegou a entrar num curso?
Aí entrou o Fundo Europeu, que foi o suporte para o meu sonho, para começar a construir algo que me deixa feliz e realizado.
So it happened also because of this European funded program.
Sim. Depois, após o curso, trabalhei em 2 barbearias, até que decidi abrir a minha barbearia e, graças a Deus, está a correr bem. Tenho muito trabalho, mas não posso esquecer o momento mais importante, que foi quando cortei o cabelo ao Cristiano Ronaldo.
Oh, did you get that? Yeah, he cuts the hair of Cristiano Ronaldo. That's where he ended up. Speaking of a career change, and very, very happy with that. Yeah, can you imagine retraining again? Do you need to as a cabeleireiro?
Não vou parar por aqui, vou continuar a lutar pelos meus sonhos e melhores coisas virão com certeza.
Okay, so this is not the end of the road. Some new things may come along, but it is a dream fulfilled at the moment. I want to thank you both very much for joining us and sharing. Obrigado. So, following this starting event of this European Year of Skills, and throughout the whole year, discussions between employees and employers, social partners and businesses, between policymakers and entrepreneurs will continue. And sometimes, as the world works, this will lead to clashes, but hopefully sometimes also it will lead to collaborations. At times of transition, impact and involvement is on everyone. Now, as you may remember from the speech by Ursula von der Leyen, working together is one of the most important themes in her view of this event and of the whole year of skills. The ambition is to upskill and reskill 240 million workers in Europe. Now, one of the EU initiatives aimed at fostering industry and sector-wide collaboration is the Pact for Skills. Currently 18 large partnerships and 1,500 members. You will see two examples. First, we take a look at members of the energy-intensive large-scale partnership working together to learn new skills, attract talent and make Europe greener.
A society with a modern, competitive and resource-efficient economy that achieves zero net greenhouse gas emissions by mid-century. To enable this transformation, a human-centric strategy is needed to develop a competent, specialised and multi-skilled workforce.
The European Erasmus Plus co-funded Steel Skills Alliance ESSA and the Skills Alliance for Industrial Symbiosis BioScience have implemented effective solutions for this crucial task.
Upskilling and attracting new talent is a matter of competitiveness for steel and other process industries. Thus, skills agility is needed for the workforce to successfully perform in greener jobs and to deliver the green transition. So the blueprint's key role is to identify what new skills are needed to deploy industrial symbiosis, decarbonization, digitalization of the process industry, and other innovations of processes.
The European Steel Technology Platform considers workforce empowerment, skills and social innovation to be as important as technology.
The joint efforts of the stakeholders in the regional and national ecosystem to implement a European human-centric strategy are reflected in innovative learning solutions and new qualifications.
The adaptation of skills, qualification and competencies is key to make the green transformation successful. Since some time, we started to answer the question how to support the transformation by adapting the vocational education and training procedures. As the in-company training curricula of the dual system in Germany is technological and methodological neutral, we digitalize the in-company training practices. We provide tablet computers for all new apprentices with access to an e-learning platform. The apprentices can flexibly and individually shape their way of learning. Without any doubt, hydrogen-based steelmaking is the way forward to decarbonize the industry. We developed an additional qualification to be added within apprenticeship training. With all relevant regional stakeholders, we developed the hydrogen qualification, including exam regulation, issued as an ordinance by the Chamber of Industry in Duisburg.
The transformation is just beginning, and more public and private organizations need to come together to make concrete commitments to upskill and reskill the sector's current and future workforce. That is why the ESSA and Spire Size Alliances are joining forces in Pact for Skills. With the large-scale partnership energy-intensive industries, the alliances continue to make progress in the digital, green and social transformation of the European industries.
And moving on to the Netherlands, you will witness an exchange between Jan Jeronimus, Kajsa Kaskelin, Heidi Kamerlin and some Dutch students about their project aiming to address biodiversity. It's an example of another European partnership, the Centre of Vocational Excellence, the European Platform for Urban Greening, funded by Erasmus+. But they will tell you all about it themselves.
Hi everybody, it's a pleasure to join you from the Netherlands for the European Year of Skills Festival. As we speak, the very first International Urban Greening Week is taking place, simultaneously in Finland and the Netherlands. The event features over 30 students and teacher staff from all over Europe. It's part of the European Platform for Urban Greening, one of the first centers of vocational excellence that are co-funded by the European Commission. I'm here with Heidi Kamerling, who is Proctor, Livable Green Cities at Uverta College in Houten. Heidi, what are we doing this week?
Students are working on real-life challenges, and in the meantime they also work on their skills. For example, their personal skills are working in international cooperation with other students and learning English. And the skills specific regarding to urban greening are biodiversity, climate adaptation and well-being in relationship to green.
How it's going? What have you learned so far? And what impressed you most?
I think what impressed me the most was that we were able to do some cooperation with the biggest landscaping company in Netherlands, and how much they invested time on us on this trip. They gave us multiple days and multiple hours to just tell about their work and what they are doing in green infrastructure and landscaping, and it was really it was great to see.
I'm also here with Lars van Ginkel, who is Manager Innovation at the Royal Ginkel Group.
The reason that we as a company are joining the Urban Greening Week is that as a company we are working in urban greening projects. We are working in an urban city environment, and this is a very complex environment. As a landscaping company, we need to be very innovative in these environments. We need to face challenges every day, and we need skilled workers for that. The Urban Greening Week is a collaboration that we are engaging in with schools, but also with our employees and with the municipality, where together we work on tackling these challenges.
We hope you got a nice impression of how we are working on skills in the green sector.
I think we can say, yes, we did. Thank you very much, Jan and others from the Netherlands. Now we are going to hear two women working in the care sector. And as you probably all know, if there is one sector in need of hands, concrete hands and skilled hands at that, it is the sector of hospitals, elderly, homes for the elderly and so on. Now you will hear from Angelica, who's a nurse in an elderly care center in Sweden, and from Lieve, who organizes care in Belgium.
Hi everybody, my name is Angelica and I work as an assistant nurse with the elderly. I provide care for the elderly in the comfort of their own home. And my main tasks include helping with personal hygiene, medication and social activities like going for walks and such. I have an assistant nurse degree, but my job requires annual education and examination to ensure our skills and knowledge are up to date. We get tested on our medication skills, lifting, and so on. Besides this, we also get training in fire safety protocol to help keeping our clients safe. Our social partners, the employers and the union, together have made it possible for assistant nurses to work part-time while studying at half speed with full salary compensation to get their degree.
One of the main challenges that we face for the next decade is certainly finding and keeping staff as we face already a shortage at this moment. And the work in our sector has changed a lot the last, let's say, 10 years. And supporting people with disabilities in having a good quality life, whatever their support need is, whatever their family context is or social context is, requires really a lot of skills from the support workers. And the competences to deal with person-centered care and the flexibility that's needed there, but also to deal with constant societal change and the flexibility that's needed there are very important in the work that we do.
Heartfelt stories there. And on to Portugal, where the textile and clothing industry finds ways to upskill and reskill people in order to keep up with changes in the sector. CTV and Tintex, colleagues from Portugal, are working together with Euratex in the Pact for Skills, Textiles, Clothing, Leather and Footwear partnership.
Cultivar o talento na indústria têxtil e do vestuário é crucial para impulsionar o crescimento e a mudança. A Academia CITEV tem estado na vanguarda desta missão há mais de 25 anos, concentrando-se na inovação e cooperação.
Olá, eu sou Elsa Faria e estou muito feliz por participar neste evento a partir de Portugal. Nas últimas décadas, a indústria têxtil e do vestuário teve muitas mudanças em todo o mundo. Hoje em dia, estamos a falar de fabrico digitalizado, processos sustentáveis e consumidores mais conscientes, social e ambientalmente. Sabemos que esta transformação aumenta a necessidade de aperfeiçoamento e requalificação e também de reinvenção contínua das competências. Em linha com a missão do CITEV, de contribuir para o aumento da competitividade do setor, desde há muito que a Academia CITEV desenvolve ações para atrair os jovens para a nossa indústria e fornecer-lhes as ferramentas necessárias para o sucesso profissional. Uma das inúmeras empresas com quem temos trabalhado de forma próxima é a Tintex. É uma empresa que, apesar de estabelecida numa região de baixa densidade populacional, tem assumido o investimento no desenvolvimento de talentos como algo fundamental para o caminho que vem trilhando com elevado foco na inovação.
Olá, eu sou Ricardo Silva e vou falar-vos da experiência da Tintex. Reconhecemos que o desenvolvimento de competências é fundamental para alcançar os nossos objetivos comerciais.
E trabalhei na indústria alimentar durante quase 10 anos antes de decidir mudar para a indústria têxtil. Como tantas outras pessoas, tinha dúvidas e não me sentia 100% realizada no que estava a fazer. Eu queria mudar, mas precisava do impulso certo. Era uma perspectiva assustadora, mas com o apoio da Tintex e do CITEV, pude fazer uma transição sem hesitações. Os programas de formação foram adaptados às minhas necessidades e senti-me valorizada enquanto trabalhadora.
Esta parceria tem sido um grande sucesso. Assistimos a um aumento da relevância das competências e do investimento inclusivo e fomos capazes de fazer corresponder as aspirações e competências das pessoas com as oportunidades do mercado de trabalho. É um modelo que pode ser replicado em todo o setor e estamos entusiasmados por fazer parte dele.
Search for how to manage skills, reskill and upskill the workforce, people, citizens in the European Union wanting to realize their full potential, as Alvaro mentioned earlier. Ladies and gentlemen, dear all, we are nearing the end of this opening session of the European Year of Skills. It's incidentally no coincidence that it's held on Europe Day today, the 9th of May, and in order to highlight the idea behind that choice, that decision, a last tour d'horizon is fitting. We will first go to Latvia, while skills are central to the Europe Day celebrations in Riga today, the partners of the State Education Development Agency and Commission's representation were keen to show to you skills development in Malta, a small town in Latgal, the eastern region. So yes, indeed, the Year of Skills also goes local.
Virsmērķis ir domāt par nākotnes darba tirgu un nākotnes darba tirgus vajadzībām. Un šajā ziņā noteikti būs vajadzīgas šīs zaļās un digitālās prasmes, kas ir vajadzīgas šim Eiropas mērķu sasniegšanai, pārējai uz zaļāku un digitālāku ekonomiku. Un šajā ziņā tie ir jaunieši, bet arī mēs runājam par mūža izglītību, jo arī visas dzīves garumā ir jāturpina mācīties un apgūt jaunas prasmes. Un, protams, vislabākais to ir sākt tieši jaunākos gados, vai tas būtu pat no bērndārza vecuma, jo mēs ļoti daudz dzirdam arī, ka bērni iesaistās dažādās robotikas nometnēs, un pēc tam jau šī interese attīstās tālāk, un tad ir iespēja arī to pēcāk apgūt jau kā profesiju.
Tagad viņš pilda komandu Tornado. Ja mēs turpināsim ceļu, tad viņš vēl brauc. Jā. Un šeit mums ir tutori, kā pareizi zīmēt. Mēs redzam, kā mēs nevaram too close zīmēt. Un, jā, ja jūs esat pirmo reizi šeit, tad vispirms es biju Lietuvā ar Integra projektu. Tur mēs mācījāmies par robotiem. Tur bija lektori no Viļņa, kur mums mācīja vispār, kas ir roboti, kā tie strādā. Un ar tiem prasmēm mēs tagad varam veidot speciālās stundas, piemēram, kā jums. Jā, un dažiem citiem skolēniem, kuriem interesē roboti. Vispār ne. Tas bija pirmā pieredze un man patika, jā.
Viss ir sasaistīts mazāk vai vairāk ar tehnoloģijām, un mēs nevaram vienkārši to ignorēt, jā, un mums arī jāiesaistās mācību procesā. Un bērniem tiešām patīk, un tas ir veids, kā viņus aizraut, kā viņus interesēt, jā, pasniegt no citas skatu punkta kaut ko, to pašu, ko viņi katru dienu dara. Jā, tā pavisam cits.
Es esmu sociālo zinību un uzņēmējdarbības skolotāja. Agrāk ar robotiem es vispār nestrādāju. Jā, es zināju, ka ir roboti, stāstīju bērniem, ka tagad moderni, mākslīgais intelekts, roboti, bet nestrādāju. Jā. Un tad man piedāvāja iesaistīties projektā. Mums bija nodarbības gan skolotājiem, gan skolēniem. Mēs braucam uz Jelgavu, mums apmācīja, kā darboties ar robotiem, kā izmantot 3D pildspalvas un vēl daudz visādu ierīču programmu. Jā. Tad mēs, kā skolotāji, daudz ieguvām. Skolēni mācījās kopā ar mums. Tas arī bija tāda interesanta pieeja, kad mēs visi kopā bijām. Jā. Tāpēc tas bija tik tiešām liels ieguvums. Un tagad, jā, es arī izmantoju stundās, piemēram, kad tēmas par uzņēmējdarbību, par mākslīgo intelektu. Mēs arī ņemām un stundā mēģinām kaut ko izdarīt. Jā, tad bērniem ir kaut kāds piemērs, kā to darīt.
Tieši šeit mēs redzam, aizraujoši. Būvniecība nav tikai ķieģeļi un kaut kādi celtniecības materiāli, bet tā arī ir zinātne, tas arī ir datori, tas arī ir datortehnika un datortehnoloģijas.
Ir palielinājusies interese, jo visi grib kaut ko pamēģināt jaunu, kaut ko citu, jo tā pamatskola jau ir apnikusi, tie parastie priekšmeti gribas kaut ko radošu. Uz to viņi arī nāk jautāt un interesējās.
A clip that shows that vocational training and education is cutting edge, if you ask me. And last but not least, we go to Luxembourg to connect with another Europe Day celebration venue and more special guests of the festival. Luxembourg, do you hear us? They are ready. I don't know if they hear us. They are very ready. We have to check the connection. This is what happens when you do a live event, hybrid. It's part of the job. I can go on for hours if I have to keep it in the air. I hope not, but you never know. Ladies and gentlemen in Luxembourg, yes, we see you. You're online. I think they started. I'm going to shut up. Can we get sound from Luxembourg?
There's one in a bachelor in applied information technologies and one master in technopreneurship. So Claudine, can you tell us a little bit about what motivated you to do these training courses?
Hi, well, first of all, I did the DUT, a diploma in technology universitaire, also in computer science in 2003 till 2007. And already there I wanted to do a bachelor, but the bachelor was no opportunity because there was none in evening courses. So when I saw that the bachelor now was proposed by Lifelong Learning Center in collaboration with the University of Luxembourg, I took the opportunity to do the bachelor. And then I was so into learning that I also wanted to have a master. So I did this master in technopreneurship that's about standardization, and it was really new. We were the first one to do it. And it also gave me new job opportunities. It opens doors. Even if you are 40 years, 50 years, it always opens doors. So do it.
Wow, that was a really good choice for you to take interest in computer science so early on. Do you maybe have a message to pass to our audience, or people who still hesitate to take up a training?
Of course, whatever training interests you, whatever you want to do, if you learn it for yourself, if you want to learn it for more job opportunities, go for it. Only the sky is the limit. You are never too old to do training courses. You are never too old to learn something new, to go into something new. Just do it. Everything is possible for everybody.
Well, that's a really nice message to all of our audience, people who maybe are still hesitating to take the step and to do lifelong learning. Commissioner, how do you react to Claudine's experience?
I think that the message she gave now for the year of skills, that's really the message we need. First, the motivation is key, but also the opportunity you have to get, because I think we have to make sure that everybody who wants to have lifelong learning, who wants to reskill and upskill, gets the right opportunity. I think that, as she said now, she got the opportunity and she took it. So I think to all the Europeans, the world is changing, but there are a lot of good opportunities waiting for you. So be motivated, have confidence in yourself, and as Claudine has said, well, take this opportunity and you will be successful.
Thank you, Commissioner. So today is the official launch of the European Year of Skills. What exactly is the aim of the European Year of Skills, Commissioner? Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Well, I think we are all aware that we need a change of skill in terms of skills because of the transformation in our economy. Be it digital, and you have spoken about the digital. There is also the green transformation with a lot of new technologies coming up. And I think that the Year of Skills wants precisely first change the mindset. And I think that's the message we just got. But second, also motivate companies, motivate member states, motivate regions, and at the end also motivate individual citizens that skills is the new goal. You have the opportunity. You should have the opportunity to invest in your own skills. And I think this is what the Year of Skills should really amplify everywhere. And this is also on which Europe's prosperity will be built. It's on people. People invest in people. That's finally our wealth.
Skills is the new gold. I think that's a nice message from Luxembourg to give back to Brussels and enjoy Europe Day and the European Year of Skills.
Thank you very much for the contribution from Luxembourg. So, dear all, for the last hour and a half, you heard testimonies, ideas, principles and practicalities about the need for skills. I think the most mentioned word in the past hour and a half, need for skills, upskilling, reskilling, regardless of age and background or where you're from, and with regard for social justice and rights and opportunities, and in the best of circumstances without pressure, of course. It's about change with an eye on the future, and as the Commissioner would have it, a greener and digitally sound future. It's a work in progress, that may be very clear. Hereby, the opening event of the European Year of Skills Festival has come to an end, but I should say it's the beginning, or sorry, the end of the beginning, so to speak. Should you want to learn more about future activities in the upcoming year, you can go to the website and find out what's going on all across Europe. As mentioned at the very beginning, the event is also available on YouTube should you want to rewatch something or share it with others. And last but not least, on behalf of the organization and the initiators, a big thank you to all the contributors, local, national, you name it, European, making this event possible, sharing their experiences and stories, and allowing you here and those watching us online on a skills journey across Europe. So that's it for now, for here. Thank you very much for being here, being so attentive. Have a good day and a safe journey to wherever you're going next. Thank you.